So, we're back. I just need to have something streaming, so to keep me motivated in these last draining days of my MCAT prep. We have 4 days left. I'm feeling pretty confident in the biology and biochemistry. We just made it through all of the psych content, and I've been doing questions on that, and I've been improving significantly earlier when I was doing those questions. So, let's just close this document because I don't need it anymore. So I'm going to start memorizing the different equations, like not start, but I'm going to go through many of the different equations that I should know, and I'm going to make a note of which ones that I have issues with remembering. Let's just say that. And then take a note on what I need to review to make sure that I have these equations down. Because I believe that the physics section on the MCAT is basically just if you know how to use, you know the equation, you can basically just pull it out of your ass and figure out the problem if you have enough background. So, I'm getting my notebook out, but this is just use. You can skip ahead if you're actually listening along to this at all. But we'll be going through this document of physics equations that we should know for the MCAT for possible any application in the versus physics versus physics plus chemistry section. All right. So, the average speed. How about we do this? Is there a way I can readjust this? Move it over? If I zoom in close enough? How about I just do the Anki cards? So, see if this works. Yes, I have a lot of Anki cards that I've been going through, but some of these decks are very intensive. So, let's start with, I don't know if I have, let's see, if I have just the equation thing. I do, let's just try it out. I don't even know which to start. Let's do formulas general. There's 120, I guess there's 120. Electrophoresis equation. So speed is equal to EZ over distance, I'm assuming. Yep. So the speed for electrophoresis is velocity of the migration of the molecule, which is equal to the electrical field times the charge divided by the friction coefficient. So it's another form of the velocity equation. Let's just say good for now. Maximum number of electrons in a shell. I believe this is 2 to the n power. Yes. Kind of energy of a kinetic energy of a photon. Kinetic energy of a photon? Wouldn't that just be Planck's constant times frequency? So kinetic energy is joules. So Kinetic energy of, so energy is equal to H times F. So I'm assuming it's Planck's constant times frequency. It is. Okay. Minus binding energy. So remember the binding energy. Put that as hard, sure. Formal charge. Are we talking about a formal charge of an atom? So to find the formal charge on an atom is you count. So you know the valence electrons, and then you count the number of electrons on it minus 1/2 of the bonds. So valence electrons minus the lone pairs plus bonds. So yeah, that's good. A dipole moment. Dipole is P times Q times D. I do not know that one that as well, so I'm going to star this one. P equals Q times D. So if you think about it, if you think about it, it's similar to torque, as torque is rotation, both out the rotation of the angle. So you can think dipole moment is the Q is the force, and then D is the distance. Specific rotation is, I need to learn this one because I didn't learn this in my organic chemistry class, sadly. They didn't think it was essential at my college that I went to. So the specific rotation is the observed rotation divided by the concentration times length. So specific rotation is equal to observed rotation divided by path length. Current? Which current? Well, according to Ohm's law, V equals IR, so current equals V divided by R. Or, yes, that is another form of the current equation, where it's charge divided by time, because current also equals amps, and amps is coulombs per second. Ohm's law, V equals IR, which I already said. Resistors in series. When they're in series, you can just add up the resistors. So it'd be R equivalent is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. Yep. Resistors in parallel, sorry, I don't know how to speak today, are resistors in parallel is R. 1 over R equivalent is equal to 1 over R plus 1 over R2. That's how I learned it. 1 over R equivalent. Good. Resistivity is equal to V divided by I, or resistivity is equal to the resistivity constant, which is like sigma letter, times the length divided by area to get ohms by itself. It's telling us to find the resistivity. Oh, okay. I did it for find R of resistance. Okay. Capacitance, there's two equations for capacitance. I'm assuming capacitance is equal to K times E naught divided by area. E naught times area divided by D. That's the one that I had in my head. And capacitance is Q divided by delta V. Because a farad is coulombs, coulomb volt. Okay. Yep. Farads is a coulomb volt. So I need to review this. Capacitance is equal to Q divided by V because farad. And then capacitance is equal to E naught times area over distance. Which I knew that one because I always use that one in my physics class. We rarely use the Q divided by delta V though, sadly. Okay, capacitors in series. Capacitors in series have the opposite sign of the resistance in series. So capacitance in series is equal to 1 over capacitance series equivalent is equal to 1 over C1 plus 1 over C2. I don't know why, but it is. Just have it memorized. And capacitors in parallel, you add it like C1 plus C2. No idea why. If someone could tell me, I'd be happy to know that. Energy of a charged capacitor. Energy of a charged capacitor. I do not know what that means. What are you asking here is the question. Capacitor is equal to Q over V. So, let's just see. Potential energy is equal to Q squared over 2 C's. If you think about it, if you use the capacitance, you can find 1/2 of Q delta V. You can derive majority of these equations. So I just need to memorize the first one of U is equal to Q squared times 2C to derive the other ones. How can I remember that? U is equal to Q squared times 2C. Well, Henry's law? Did not learn that one. That one doesn't seem high yield because I never heard of that one. Never heard of that one. I'll say that one's hard. Avogadro's number is 10 to the 23rd molecules. 6.10 to the 10 to the 23rd. Planck's constant. I have no idea what the Planck's constant is. I just have a shortcut for that equation for Planck's constant. That when you multiply Planck's constant against the speed of light, you get 1240 EVs times nanometers. If you convert it the meters per second to nanometers. Elementary charge 1.6 times 10 to the negative 19th. I knew that one. Coulomb's constant 9 times 10 to the 9th. Gas constant 8.126 joules or 0.08. Oh, 8.314. Speed of light 3 times 10 to the 8th. Gravity is basically 10 meters per second. That was a typo. Specific gravity of water is 1 because I just learned this. Specific gravity is a relative gravity when you divide two different densities. The density of water is either 1 gram per milliliter, 1,000 kilograms per meter cubed. Yeah. Yes. Faraday's constant. I don't know Faraday's constant. I didn't learn that one, so let me write that one down. I don't even know when to use Faraday's constant. 96,500 coulombs per mole. Velocity of sound. V equals frequency times wavelength. Oh, it was asking for I knew that value. I thought it was asking for the equation. But I knew it was 343 because I always had to do Doppler effect problems with that value. That was always a pain in the ass. And sadly, it wasn't on my final that I studied so hardly for. Alright. I knew that one. Easy way to calculate log. Easy way to calculate log is just think about something to the 10th exponent. So think -5. Negative log of 10 to the -5 is 5. That makes sense. Minus. I didn't know that. Interesting. That's a good one to know. So let me write. So I'm going to write around example of solving logs. So if we have log, do we always subtract it? I don't know if we always subtract it. If we have log of, let's say log of 1.6 times 10 to the -6. So it would equal -6 minus 0.16 to get -6.16. Sure, interesting. Electro disposition. Don't know what that is. Did not talk about this in my physics class, I don't think. Electro disposition is the equation that summarizes a place that helps to determine the number and molecules of element being deposited on a plate. Nope, did not talk about this. That's where the Faraday's constant that I was questioning I didn't know about was. Interesting. That was hard. Cell potential, is this the E naught, is equal to E cell is, oh, this is the cell potential of biochemistry that I learned. E cell is equal to redox minus E oxidize. I'm just going to write a quick note saying cell potential, think biochem. Because I do know that equation. Okay. Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law. That's just K times charge 1 times charge 2 over R squared. You get a force. Yep. Electrical field. The way I always remember electrical field is the volts per meter. So electrical field is charge divided by distance. Electric charge divided by charge. So field is equal to force divided by Q. Yep. It also equals a voltmeter. That's what I was telling you. Electrical potential energy. Guessing 1/2 QV squared. U is equal to K Q Q R. So think electrical potential energy is equal to coulombs without squared. Voltage equals U divided by Q, KQ times R. I knew those equations. Intensity of a uniform, I is equal to voltage times distance. Oh, it's just asking final. Oh, yeah. I already knew that equation. Voltage delta V is equal to I times R. Or delta V is equal to work divided by power. Power equals work over time. Power equals work over time. That's the main one that you can derive. Or energy over time, or Q over time. Or what does Q equal? P equals V times I. V times I. Y. So power equals joule per second. Amp equals coulombs per second. Voltage equals amp equals coulombs per second. So V must equal joules per coulomb. Okay, I can remember that. Michaelis-Menten? How's that? Okay. I can do that equation. V initial is equal to V max times substrate divided by Km plus substrate. You can do that one. I know my biochemistry. Density is equal to mass divided by volume. Specific gravity is the density of a liquid over the density of water. Buoyancy force, F of buoyancy equals density times gravity times height. Density times gravity times volume. Pascal's law. Pressure is equal to a Newton meter squared. So pressure is equal to newtons times area. So P is equal to force divided by area squared. So pressure is equal to force divided by area. Hydrostatic pressure, Fs is equal to P naught plus continued velocity is equal to area times velocity is equal to pressure. Pascal's that's the very long one. It's like 1/2 density v squared plus density gravity height. Oh, I used the wrong equation. Fuck. This is the Q times P times R to the 4. This is the one I was talking about. Yeah. Absolute temperature and converting Celsius to Kelvin. So 273 plus Celsius is equal to Kelvin. Pressure is force divided by area. Boyle's law. Pressure P1. If you know 3 of the 4, you can calculate the 4th. Let me write that down. Boyle's law. P1 equals V1 equals P2 equals V2. So think Boyle's law is similar to the M1 V1 equals M2 V2. So like a dilution of law. Ideal gas, the PV NRT. Charles law? Fuck is that? Doesn't help me that it's broken. So let's just hide that one. More options. Suspend note. Avogadro's law. 6 times 10 to the 23. Or the number of moles times the number of that gives you the volume of gas divided by the number of moles. Average kinetic energy of a gas particle. K equals 3/2 R. I forgot about this one. Write this one down. I forgot about my thermodynamics equations. Fuck. Fuck. 3/2 R N A T. Fucking A. I almost forgot this one. Fuck. That would have been bad. It's been a while from using this one. It's been a whole semester. Heat capacity at a constant pressure for ideal monatomic. That's like 3/2. Monatomic? I thought diatomic was 5/2. 3/2. I think it was a typo. Van der Waals equation of state. Never learned that one. And I don't think that's high yield, so I'm just gonna suspend it for now. Dalton's law of partial pressure. That all the pressure, yes, I have learned that one. Hardy-Weinberg. Hardy-Weinberg is the equations for genetic populations, where p plus q is equal to 1, or p squared plus 2pq plus q squared. Maximum number of electrons in a shell. 2n squared. Law of reflection. This is not Snell's law, is it? If this is Snell's law, then it'd be n1 times sine of angle is equal to n2 sine of angle. But I don't think that's this one. Oh, angle incidence is equal to angle of reflection. I put that as hard. Electrophoresis is velocity is equal to EZ, energy times charge divided by friction. Yeah. Index of refraction. Index of refraction is equal to c divided by the speed of light in the material. Snell's law, I already said that one earlier accidentally. Critical angle. Critical angle is like equal to, or you set one of them equal to sine of 90, so the sine inverse of n2 over n1. Yep. Lens equation is 1 over f is equal to 1 over s plus 1 over s prime. They do it in a different, I don't like that they use that equation. I didn't learn it in physics that way. Optics equation? What the fuck does that mean? Is this asking about magnification? If it's magnification, it's negative s prime over s. If it's magnification. If it's talking about the focal point, it's like r divided by 2. Or 2 divided by r, yeah. Okay. We already talked about formal charge. We're getting our view slides. Formal charge is the valence of electrons minus number of electrons, lone pair electrons, minus 1/2 of the bond. Dipole moment. Remember, I said this was P is equal to charge times distance, because think of it as torque. Yep. Kinetic energy of a photon. Kinetic energy of a photon equals h times f minus bonding energy. Magnification, m equals negative magnification equals negative image over object. Lens power, it's equal to 1 over f. Diopters. Ohm's law of equals IR. Focal length of a lens in series. In series, when there's multiple lenses. So for the first lens, so here's what you do. You use the object before the first lens, and that image you use as the object for the second lens. So if that object's not in between, if that image is in between the two lenses, you subtract between that total distance. Yep. Parallel lenses in series, you add the focal lengths. Magnification of a system of you just add the magnifications by multiplying. Like total magnification equals m of the eyepiece versus m of the objective times m of the objective. Rate law, Are you talking about rate is equal to k times a to e to the negative e naught over rt? Or is it asking about the generic? It is asking about the generic. Resistors in parallel. Resistors in parallel is equal to 1 over R equivalent is equal to 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2. Specific rotation, I remember, specific rotation is equal to the rotation observed divided by the concentration times the length of the tube. I learned that just now. Jolly good show. Resistivity, this is looking at the, I'll just use the resistance equation, where R is equal to resistivity times L divided by area. So, by rearranging that equation, you get resistivity is times area, resistance times area divided by L. Yep. Resistors in series, you just add the resistance together because it has the same, they have a voltage drop each time. Arrhenius equation, this is the rate equals K times A times, Arrhenius equation is K is equal to A times e to the negative activation area over RT. Yep. Law of mass action, didn't. A of B, oh, it's just equilibrium constant. I never heard it called that before. Speed of light, formula not value. Speed of light is equal to frequency times wavelength. Energy of a photon. Energy is h times f. Current. I is equal to V. Wait. Current is equal to I is equal to Q over time, or V divided by R. Yes. Magnetic force. Magnetic force is for which one is the question? Q times V times B. I forgot this one because I didn't really review it that well. Because I was stressing during this part because I had so many biochem exams this semester. Fuck. Magnetic force is equal to force is equal to Q times V times B sine of angle. Okay. Lorenz's force? Huh? Haven't learned that one. Lorenz's force. Lorenz's force. Force is equal to Q times E plus Q times V times B. Okay. Why? I'll say that one's hard because I've never seen that one before. Average velocity. Is this saying displacement divided by time? Distance divided by time? Yeah. Acceleration is velocity divided by time. Newton's second law. All the addition of forces are equal to mass times acceleration. Static friction. F of static is equal to the F of static is equal to U of static times the normal force. Why isn't these working? Fucking Henry's law. Who the fuck is Henry again? Obviously, I didn't care enough about Henry. I should write this one fucking down because obviously I don't know this one. Henry's law is equal to the concentration of A, which is K of H, times pressure of area. I'll say hard. Energy of a capacitor. So, energy of a capacitor is equal to Q divided by delta V. Delta U. Fuck. U is equal to Q squared over 2C. God damn it. Wait, for stored energy. A capacitor. Just taking notes right now. Planck's constant 6.6 times 10 to the negative 34. Capacitance. Capacitance is equal to charge divided by farads. Farads. What is a farad equal? Coulomb volt. So charge divided by volts. Capacitors in series. In series, this is 1 over C equivalent plus is equal to 1. I don't know why. Still don't know. In parallel, those are adding it together. C equivalent is equal to C1 plus C2. Faraday's constant. This is for that one equation. It's like 96,500 coulombs meters. Coulomb moles. Avogadro's number. 6 times 10 to the negative 26. 6 times 10 to the 26. 6 times 10 to the 23rd. God damn it. Why am I fucking up on Avogadro's number now? 1.6 times 10 to the negative 19th. Yes. Gravity, 10 meters per second. Coulomb's constant, 9 times 10 to the 9th. Kinetic friction, F of kinetic is equal to U of K times normal force. Force of gravity acting perpendicular. Force of gravity acting perpendicular to an inclined plane. What does it even mean? Oh. Would this just be perpendicular? Is sine? Mass times gravity times cosine. That's perpendicular. So, if we have the angle here, opposite SOHCAHTOA. If we have adjacent over hypotenuse, okay. Gas constant 8.364 and 0.08. Velocity on 343 meters per second. Speed of light 3 times 10 to the 8th. Speed of gravity, specific gravity is 1 gram per centimeter cubed. It's mass times gravity times sine. Torque is equal to force times distance times sine of angle. Coulomb's law, force electrons is equal to K times Q1 over Q2 over R squared. Work is a Newton meter. So work is equal to force times distance. Work is equal to pressure minus volume. What? Work is equal P delta V. Center of mass. X. Electrical field equation. Electrical field is involved with, it's a voltmeter or newtons for coulombs. So electric field is a volt divided by distance. And then electrical field is newtons divided by charge. Mechanical advantage is force out versus force in. I don't know that one. I have used it in physics, but I don't remember off the top of my head. Electrodisposition, that's the stupid one that I'm not going to include for now. Power is equal to I times V, because coulombs per second times joules per coulomb. And then power also equals V squared times R. V squared divided by R. Oh, they used a different one this time. Make up your goddamn mind. Work over time, yes. Electric potential, mass times gravity, gravity times height. No. This is electrical potential, not gravity potential. Electrical potential is equal to big Q times Q over R. Easy way to calculate log. I remember this one. It's basically you subtract the two values by moving over a decimal. Intensity of a uniform electric field, voltmeters. Cell potential is E of cell is equal E of redox minus E of oxidized. Electrical potential, alright, yes. Voltage, V naught is equal to V max times substrate over Km plus substrate. Kinetic energy is equal to 1/2 mass V squared. Work kinetic energy, don't know what that means. Oh, work is equal to produced from K final minus K initial. gravity potential energy. U is equal to mass times gravity to height. Elastic potential energy, U of spring, is equal to 1/2 K delta X squared. Force of a spring is equal to K times delta X. Frequency of a wave. Frequency is equal to 1 over T. Yeah. Buoyant force, F of buoyant is equal to density times gravity times height. Times volume, not height. Speed of wave is equal to frequency times wavelength. Wave number, the number of waves per interval. Yeah. Nernst equation, ESL, is equal to, yeah. That's not appropriate. Okay. The RF distance is the separation distance. So where the distance is over distance solvent. I wonder if it actually stands for that. So, you do distance, define RF, you do distance divided by solvent. So say this dot is 2 centimeters and it went for 10. So it'd be 0.2. Power, I times V. Pascal's law. Pascal's law is volume divided by moles is equal to volume. Whoa, what's going on? Mass divided by volume. Specific gravity, yes. Autoionization. So K of W is equal to OH in times. Yeah. Continuity equation. This is the P1 times V2 is equal to P2 times V2. A1 times V1 is equal to A2 times V2. pH is negative log of OH. Acid dissociation. Constant Ka is equal to products over reactants raised to their cove. Base dissociation is Kb products. Yep. pK is the negative log of Ka. Negative log of Kb. Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. The negative log of Ka plus the log of A over HA. Point of inflection, where pH is equal to pK. Average kinetic energy of a gas particle, that's like 3/2 R over N to a T. Solubility product is the different concentrations multiplied by each other. Yep. Raised to the power coefficient. Avogadro's law. Yep. Bernoulli's 1/2 density v squared plus density gravity volume equal to sound level. Oh yeah, BF is equal to BI plus 10 log of intensity is equal to pressure over area. I thought pressure is equal to force per divided by meter squared. Okay. Doppler effect. F naught is equal to 1 minus. Yes, I hate this stupid Doppler effect. Waves in open pipe. Um, Wavelength is equal to 2L over N. PV or NRT. 273 plus the Celsius. Close, it's 4L over N. And it has to be 135. Oh, and a close, but open close, my bad. Dexter refraction. Um, N is equal to C divided V, yeah. Heat transfer with specific heat. It's joules per gram. Q is equal to MC delta T. Delta G is equal to delta H minus ST. Yeah. Linear expansion. Delta L over L. Delta V. Okay. Enough of that for now. Let's go to not this. Is it this? No. Where is it? Maybe here. So let's just go through this once. And then I will look through everything. Alright. We have 8 pages of this. Now that we went through like the note cards. See what I know. See what I didn't know. I feel more confident. Okay. So we know the average speed is equal to delta x over t. I was really surprised they didn't have the kinematic equations in that. Interesting. Average velocity is delta d over t. Acceleration is delta v over delta t, which we know. Newton's first law is F net is equal to mass times area. Static friction is F of s is equal to U of s times F of norm. Kinetic friction is F of k is equal to U of k times F of norm. Force of gravity acting perpendicular is mass times gravity times cosine of angle. Fast force of gravity acting parallel to incline, mass times gradient times sine of angle. Torque is E equals to R times F times sine of angle, which we know. Work is equal to force times distance. Work of a pressure and volume is caused by pressure times the change in volume. So if we have a barbaric reaction, there's no change in pressure. Pressure is constant, so There's no change. Center of mass is equal to mass of 1 plus x plus mass of 2 plus mass of 3 divided by m1 plus m2. Mass advantage, which I just learned again, is F out over F in. Power is equal to work over time. Power is equal to force times velocity. Because that makes sense, because force is equal to newtons. Work is equal to power is equal to newton meters per second. That makes sense. Kinetic energy is 1/2 mass v squared. Work kinetic energy is delta K. Gravity potential is U equal to mgh. Elastic is equal to 1/2 K. Hooke's law is F is equal to negative K times X. Frequency is 1 over T, where T is equal to 1 over F. Speed of a wave is equal to frequency times wavelength. So many problems of those were done this last semester. Because frequency is in hertz and wavelengths in meters, so that's how you get speed. Density is equal to mass divided by volume. Can be kilograms per meter cubed. Specific gravity is density of object over water. Buoyancy is F of buoyancy times mass times gravity, which is equal to density times volume times gravity. Pascal's law is equal to F1 over area 2 is equal to F2 of area 2. Hydrostatic is P is equal to P naught plus density times gravity times C. So that's talking about how every 10 meters you go down, it increases in pressure. Pascal's law, pi r4 times the change in pressure divided by A, 8 times viscosity times length. Continuing equation is area 1 times velocity 1 is equal to area 2 times velocity 2. They have to be equal. Bernoulli's equation is P1 is plus 1/2 delta V squared plus is equal to P2. Gases. Absolute temperatures K 273. Pressure is force divided by area. D with PV equals nRT. Boyle's law is P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. Charles' law is V1 over T1 is equal to V2 over T2. Avogadro's law is N1 over V1 is equal to N2 over V2. Average kinetic energy of gas is 3/2 kBT. Heat capacity is CV equals 3/2 NR. Heat capacity is CP is equal, that sounded bad, C to the abbreviated P is equal to 5/2 NR. Van der Waals equation is P equals nRT divided by V minus NB. Never learned that equation. Dalton's law of partial pressure, I've talked about that, where P is equal to partial pressure A plus B plus C. Partial A is equal times the number of moles times the total pressure. Thermodynamics. Heat transfer equals Q equals MC squared. MC delta T. Standard heat is delta H of fusion is equal to products minus reactants. Standard heat of reaction is bronze broken by bronze formed. Gibbs free energy is delta G equals delta H minus T delta S. Linear expansion is delta L is equal to alpha times L times delta T. Following is delta V equals B times V times delta T. Sound level is beta equals 10 to the log of I over I naught. Sound level is the B final is equal to B initial plus 10 log of I and I naught. Intensity is equal to power over area. So watt meter squared. Doppler effect, I hated it. Frequency coming towards you is equal to frequency times v plus v of distance divided by v plus or minus v of sound in the air. Waves in open pipes, wavelength equals 2L over N, which frequency equals NV divided by 2L. Wavelength in closed pipes, 4L over N. That's not true. One end can be closed and one can be open. They're both closed, it still acts as an open. Anyway, speed of light, c equals frequency times wavelength. Energy of photon, E equals hf. Geometric optics, law of reflection is equal angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Index of refraction is n equals c divided by v. Snell's law is equal to n1 sine 1 O1, which is equal to n2 sine O2. Critical angle is O2 sine of negative 1 n2 over n1. The optic thin lens equation, 1 over f is equal to 1 over s prime plus 1 over s. Magnification equals negative image over object. Lens of power is equal to 1 over f. Focal lengths in a series, 1 of f is equal to 1 of f1 plus 1 of f2. Power of lenses, p1 plus p2. Magnification, you have to multiply them. Electrostatics, Coulomb's law, K times Q1 times Q2 equals R squared, where electrical field equals force divided by charge because it's a Newton Coulomb. Electric potential is equal to K times Q divided by R. Electrical potential is equal to K times Q divided by R. Because V equals joule per coulomb. Intensity is voltage divided by distance. Power, voltage difference is delta V equals VB minus VA. Work over charge. Power is equal V times I. Power is V squared over R. Power is equal I squared over R. Yeah. Current, I equals Q over T. Ohm's law equals IR. Resistors in series, you add them. Resistor in parallel is 1 over the reciprocal. Resistivity is R times A divided by L. Capacitance is equal to C divided by V, because farad. Coulombs divided by energy of a charged capacitor is equal to U is equal to Q squared divided by C, which is also equal to 1/2 Q delta V. Capacitor in series is 1 over reciprocal 1 over CS. In parallel, you add them. Magnetism, force of the magnetic field is equal to Q times V times B sine of angle. Lorenz's force is Q times E plus Q plus V. Max number of electrons in a cell is 2 to the n squared. Kinetic energy of a photoelectron, AF minus binding energy. Formal charge is equal to valence electrons minus non-binding electrons minus 1/2 of the bond. Dipole moment is P equals Q times D. Specific rotation is equal to rotation divided by C times delta L. Electrochemistry, Electrodisposition equation is IT divided by F. Cell potential is redox E redox minus E oxidize. Kinetics, rate equals K times A to the power. Rate is K equals A times E to the negative E to RT. Law of mass is K equilibrium constant. Wavelength equals 1 over wavelength. Wave number. Auto ionization of water is Kw is equal to 10 to the negative 14th. pH is negative log. pOH is negative log of that. Ka is that. Kb is that. Yep. All good on those. I already know those. Know those. Solubility, I know that one. Separation and purification. Oh, it is called that. Interesting. RF is equal to the distance spot moved divided by distance solvent. It's known as the R factor. Distance spot moved divided by distance of solvent. Pannier law is for circulation and respiration. Electrophoresis is V equals E times Z divided by friction. I know the Hardy-Weinberg equations. I know the Michelson, I know the Nernst equation, and I know osmotic pressure. Those are those. What is this one? Surprised there's no kinematics on there. But the kinematic equations I had as my home screen, so I should know them. Where delta V final is equal to V initial plus A times T. And then delta X is equal to V initial times T plus 1/2 AT squared. And then V final squared is equal to V initial squared plus 2 AT squared. Oh, 2A times D. Centripetal force, V equals mv squared over r. It's a lot. I don't know. It's a good time to take a break. It's almost 3. So, taking a break.